Botswana's Okavango Delta is the result of a river spilling into the desert instead of the sea, creating an oasis of wildlife unlike any in the world. Showing Rogers the hidden secrets of the Okavango Delta and the crystal clear water that floods the Kalahari sands is veteran professional hunter Jeff Rann, one of Botswana's best.
You can see clearly to the bottom just about everywhere. You know that there's hippos and there's crocs and there's a number of different species that live in and around the swamp itself, and one of them, of course, is the red lechwe.
The red lechwe is a swamp dweller that is perfectly adapted to its environment. With splayed hooves and an oily coat, they thrive in the open floodplains of Botswana's Okavango Delta and parts of Zambia's marshlands.
The lechwe hunt for me was an exciting and altogether different kind of hunt because we took the boat, went out into the swamp, deep into the back parts where you just simply couldn't drive to. We were in one of those classic situations where all you have to do is find your male and move straight towards him slowly and smoothly. So I tried to stay right behind Jeff and we just went straight at him.
Yeah, Mike, he's a nice lechwe.
Yeah.
You just see him going through the grass there. He's kind of working his way towards those females. If he heads up on that little bit of a rise, we might get a shot.
What do we do from here? Just go straight towards
him?
Keep
just kind of keep really low and just kind of go straight for him. Try and keep quiet in the water. I know it's hard, but just move slowly.
Do you have any snorkels here?
The lechwe, like our North American pronghorn, is a hide-in-plain-sight animal. He stays in the open, using his eyes and speed to protect himself. There's an invisible fence around him and an alarm that sounds when danger is near.
Mike, he's watching us. If he looks like he's going to stand up, we're going to have to take a shot. We're not going to get him closer.
The lechwe ram is only seconds away from getting to its feet and springing away through the flooded grass. The shot looks closer than it is. Rogers, at 150 yards, needs to take it now, and there won't be time for a second one.
Okay, Mike, go ahead and take him. Good hit, it's a good hit. Let's go. Let's get up on him. Yeah, Mike, you were standing here, 20 yards. Good shot. Let's go have a look at it. All right, Mike. How's that?
Oh, nice.
Great red lechwe. He's a great trophy. He's got good length. He's got some width on him. He's got heavy. Look at the, I mean, the base is how heavy he is there. Beautiful trophy. Only found in the Botswana Okavango Delta in sustainable hunting populations. We got thousands of these animals all over the Delta. Beautiful trophy.
How do you get him out of the swamp?
Drag him.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
I have hunted all over and been licensed in a number of countries. Botswana has it all. You track lion here in the Delta, you track elephant, you track buffalo. Everything we do is pretty much primarily tracking mainly dangerous game, and that's kind of where my path sort of led.
I'd never been to the Okavango Delta before, and I had no idea how Rann Safaris and Jeff would hunt the African elephant. I knew that they do it the old-fashioned way. They get on the tracks, they pick them up, and they walk. We also saw that there are so many elephants here that we didn't even need to do that. We'd come around a corner and there would be a herd of bulls off in the distance, and we'd take off on foot and walk right up to them. It is undescribable to be able to get that close to an animal that's 16,000 pounds. His trunk weighs 400 pounds, holds 2.5 gallons of water, and has 100,000 muscles in it. And he can apparently reach down and pick up a grain of rice. 8 tons of just this giant beast. You can't hear them with those big pads, and they just slowly go through the forest. And we get to see this up close and personal. And that's what the African safari is really all about.
Elephant, run out of places to go, basically. That's why they're all here in Botswana. We've got the Okavango Delta, we've got this great habitat, and we've had an unnatural explosion of elephant in Botswana.
As a hunter, you care about wildlife. You want to do the right thing for the animals, and in SCI, that's exactly what we do. We contribute to conservation. We have our own conservation programs, sometimes at local levels, sometimes at national and even international levels, and that's what happens with the African elephant. You support sound science-based wildlife conservation principles and practices. You want to protect the freedom to hunt.
Every animal needs some sort of management, and when the habitat's involved, where elephants are very destructive, just because they're so big, they need 700 pounds of food a day just to maintain their body weight. And these big bulls are always constantly testing their strength against trees. And this was all that was keeping that tree alive. This right here. This is the end of the marula tree. You got obviously the elephants ring barked him. You can see where they've torn the bark off on the trunk. Fire got in there, and the tree died, and then eventually there was just a little bit hanging on there. You can see a little bit of bark there, but probably a wind came up and blew it over.
What's amazing is you showed me a little bit of termite damage, and you showed me where the fire could come and what could happen to a tree that's 4 or 5 feet in diameter, and there it is. You can see the termites have destroyed it. It's got fire damage, and wind blows it over.
But the elephant was the one who caused the death of that tree.
Wow.
A million years ago or 300 years ago, elephants had places to move. They'd move into an area, forested area. They would change the habitat. It would become a savanna where you had grasslands. Different species could move into that area, and the elephants would move somewhere else. And there was a revolving, changing environment for various species.
Elephants don't so much adapt to their environment as much as they adapt their environment to them. Because of their awesome power, they're able to level whole forests, transforming the very ecosystem they inhabit. When overpopulated, they can also turn a landscape to desert in short order, which highlights the need for controlled hunting.
I was a little apprehensive about hunting an elephant until I found out the truth, until I found out about how many elephants are there. 150-some thousand in Botswana.
Eventually what will happen is a bull reaches an age of 50, 55, 60 years old. Depending on where he's been and what he's been eating, his molars, they get 6 sets of molars, and those molars will wear out. He gets his last set of molars when he's 47 years old. So depending on what he's having to eat to maintain his body weight, they may last 10 years, they may last 5 years. And then all he's got to look forward to, and as a 7-ton animal, is slow starvation. In the position that we are as human beings, you have to manage the world's animal populations to their betterment. We're not doing it to their detriment. We're trying to improve their habitat, improve their conditions, and give them better lives. In Botswana, often we pick up a track and actually get on it and track him, but most of our hunting is really spotting and stalking. But if you see a big track like this and you want to get a look at him, the only way to do it is to track him.
How do you know what a big track is? Obviously it looks big to me, but...
Yeah, usually it's a rough measurement, 2 feet, 2 of a person's feet, depending on the size of your foot, obviously. But gives you a rough idea.
I've heard stories about trackers in Africa that can identify individual elephants based upon the print in the sand. Is that true?
Absolutely. An elephant track will get worn at the back, or where his pad's rubbing all the time, and then also you see these big indentations here. Mm-hmm. That's a certain pattern, and a lot of times you'll get a very distinct pattern where something stands out in the same spot every time. And I've often had guys trackers of mine, but we'll see a track and we know it's a big bull. Maybe we've seen on another safari,
Right.
and we'll say, hey, that's the guy, we've seen him before, and recognize the track and say, let's get on him and go.
You can really clearly see the indentations right now, so it's a fresh track this morning maybe?
Absolutely. Yeah, we need to get on him.
Let's do it.
Rann finds a massive old bull feeding in an open stretch of the delta.
Until you actually get up on your first elephant and really get in close, 20, 30 yards, you realize how big they really are. And it's hard to prepare anybody for that.
Elephants possess an acute sense of smell and hearing, so approaching with caution is always advisable. This and the fact that when threatened, an elephant can turn and charge in an instant with stunningly fast 30-mile-per-hour speed. The hunters carefully shuffle through cover toward the old bull with the intensity of soldiers negotiating a minefield.
What I like with an elephant is the brain is a big enough target at 30 yards that anybody should be able to hit it. It's just concentration. When you're aiming at a point, at a specific target, it's bullet placement. But that's not always the case. You know, just because of the adrenaline factor, you know, your heart starts pumping, you know, this huge animal which could be dangerous. And try and do it with one shot. I like to do the brain shot because as a professional hunter, I know immediately the results. Hey, 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 hey. When I first came to Botswana in '84, we just kind of came together, and well, he's a lot more than a tracker. You know, when we started, you had a gun bearer, and then you had trackers as well. But his real purpose is not to shoot, is to, if I've got an empty gun, is to hand me a gun that's fully loaded, and then he'll reload my gun, and that's what a true gun bearer does. And his real purpose is for hunting dangerous game.
Unbelievable. Congratulations. That was great.
I'm glad you're here.
You like that, huh? Oh, that was fantastic.
You and SCI were here to share this, because you know, we talked about it and talked about it and talked about it. I went in, you know, for a brain shot, but he heard something. We got in so close, which you need to do for a brain shot, but he whirled around and all I had was that frontal, which is probably the toughest of all the brain shots. He steadied himself after that head shake, gave me a perfect shot, and I was close enough.
And we're using the right equipment. A 577 Nitro Express made by Holland & Holland. Big time Safari Club supporters. Tell me about the gun.
It's a beautiful gun. It's a side lock, as you said, 577 Royal. It's the right gun for hunting elephant. I also use that other 505 Gibbs,
right,
made by John Bollinger, also a big time safari supporter.
Fantastic rifles.
Unbelievable to watch. And this is an old bull too. I mean, as anyone knows, an old bull's going to reach a point where he's not going to be able to feed himself. He's going to slowly starve to death. What better way to go?
Absolutely.
And what better way to manage the wildlife here? What are the things you look for in a bull? I mean, in terms of the ivory, in terms of the tusks, how do you determine as a professional hunter that is a bull that I'd like to take or have my client take?
We always look at body size, because body size is important. Besides tusk, you know, the head on a big bull is obviously that much bigger than in proportionate to his body. And the ivory comes up right here, just above the eye here. That's where the ivory ends. So you've got a big head, you're going to have quite a bit of ivory inside. This bull will probably have more ivory inside his head than he's actually got out.
And he's got some good circumference. He's got some weight to him.
Heavy weight, thick tusks, and worn. I mean, he's broomed both those tusks down. Like I said, he's an old bull. His molars, he's on his last set. He gets those when he's 47 years old. When those wear out, the only thing he can look forward to is starvation. There's no predator in the African bush that can take a big bull down, except man.
And taking these old bulls like this out of the herd just is protecting the species, really. It's allowing the herd to continue to reproduce, the younger bulls get their chance, and he doesn't die of starvation.
Exactly. You know, as you know, male-female birth rates are about equal. There's always surplus bulls in any population, and he'll gets to an age where he doesn't come into musk. You know, we talked about that a little bit too, and where they have that musk coming down out of that musk gland, and he's not in musk at all. And these older bulls will come into musk every 4 or 5 years. You know, where a young bull comes into musk every year.
So he's past his prime. He's done his job, and now we need to do ours and get him out of here.
That's great.
Let's do it.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. I really appreciate everything you've done for me. This has been a great hunt.
It is an ultimate hunting experience. I wish that everyone at one point in their lives could come to Africa and experience just seeing what's here.
It's just a perfect place. I mean, look at our weather. It's 70 degrees, you know, at nights maybe 50. Bright skies, never rains. And to see 20 or 30 different species on one trip and have the opportunity to take dangerous game, I just think it has to be seen to believe it. And I'll tell you, I've never had anybody that's come here once and said that they wouldn't come back.
It is something that I hope that I'll do for the rest of my life.
It was a great day. Every day is a great day.
It really is.